Hey, you want to hear a joke?
Tell me.
Why did the alien refuse to eat the cow?
Don't tell me they are vegan.
Because the alien is afraid that it would give him a mutation. Anyways, so we've been talking about UFOs and the impact of UFOs on Earth and the people of Earth, right? So I thought, why don't we talk something other than humans and the impacts on humans today? Has the UFOs ever affected anyone other than humans?
I don't know if it has affected you anytime.
That's a very bad joke. We are going to cut it out.
Yeah, actually, there have been a lot of cases related to cattle mutilation. So I don't know if you have heard about it. I know,
I've,
like,
I've seen such things in movies like cattle's getting mutilated for unknown reasons. Are you saying that's a thing by aliens?
it looks like.
Okay, let's hear it.
So this is something, a topic which a lot of people don't want to look into, because mutilation by itself is such a cruel thing. Even if it's an animal, right? Like, even people, even though, okay, people eat cows or like any other a lot of animals, but seeing something being in a mutilated state is something really bad and sad to see such kind of a state. And yeah, a lot of these incidents have happened, and it hasn't been like specific to one area. So it has happened, a lot of mutilation has happened in US, in Europe, Australia, and yeah, several places in the world. And one of the interesting thing is, there have been a lot of patterns in what these mutilations are. I think like, before going too much deep into any of this incidents, I think like it's better we clarify what mutilations means here.
Sure.
So you know what mutilation mean, right? Like, in this case, these cases.
Like I'm assuming it's a cow getting cut, or it's getting basically getting destroyed in a very inhuman way,
Yeah.
right?
I think it's a good point. Like, it's literally an inhuman way, because the suspect here is an alien. It's definitely not in a human way.
Right.
So that's what makes it interesting. Where makes it interesting, and sometimes like a little bit worrisome. Why this is happening? Because the way a lot of observation has happened was, their sex organs go missing, and sometimes a pregnant cow's embryo just vanishes,
Huh.
and sometimes some of their udders are missing, or it's kind of very weird. And the way a lot of veterinarians who went and tried to do investigation about this topic, they look at the cow, and they see the kind of precision in which these cuts are made, like, where like it's kind of some technology which is like not available to us at all, because they don't see any kind of a blood spill. There isn't
Wow.
anything, and sometimes even there are no visible marks of cut. It's just like as if the internal organs just disappeared out of the cow,
Oh, without any cut on the
without
outside of
any
the
cut
body.
on the outside, no visible
Wow.
marks. So that's what makes it like really weird. And it doesn't happen just for like one cow or two cow. Like, sometimes like a whole ranch gets like that.
Wow.
It's There was a famous case, I think it was in US, around like 30 cows, which was like, they were pregnant cows. It is a huge ranch, and all these cows had everything missing. And this is something where the person didn't want to publicly talk about much, because it's kind of really bad, where like, one thing where you financially take that loss, but it's also bad in terms of people around the neighborhood, or like like, even if the person wants to sell the ranch or something, right? Like, well,
Right. It's
it,
going to
it,
be
yeah,
not easy on them to move ahead with their lives if they
yeah,
want to sell the
yeah.
ranch. And when such a news is tagged along, to their property,
Yeah.
they're not gonna sell it easily. But tell me this. So you said there were like 30 cows that got mutilated, and some of them were pregnant. did did all the 30 cows were killed on the same day, or it happened one by one? How did this whole story
So that
happen?
incident specifically just happened on one instance, and it just like went off. So one of the famous person who investigates this is a investigative reporter named Linda Moulton. She is someone I really respect her. She has been in this topic for a long time, and she has like gotten into this topic a lot. I think most of my learnings were reading about her work, and it's yeah, she ventured into a topic which people are afraid to even talk about. But and the most weird thing is it's not just like the mutilation alone. It's the way these cows or cattle reappear. It's like sometimes they are just dropped out of the sky.
Wait, hold on. What do you mean reappear?
So yeah, so they take these out. Like it's not like that the cows are like just gone.
So,
Sometimes
so there are cases where the whole cow went missing, not
yeah.
just some of the body parts.
So the no, the cow it's like as if like the cows are taken. They take what they want and
Okay.
they just like throw them off. Like sometimes they just like drop off from the roof
Gotcha.
of the ranch, or like sometimes certain cows like just like hang on a tree.
Right.
It's like really crazy, right? Like where like sometimes like where like how can a cow like just like hang on a tree?
Right, right. Unless it's thrown from up above
Yeah,
and got
yeah,
stuck in the branch of
yeah.
the tree when falling
And
down.
too often, whenever these incidents have been reported, people also have had sightings of UFOs around the area.
There you go.
Yeah, and there were like few eyewitnesses who really saw these cows being hovered to the top, were literally suspended in space. The cow is being, I don't know, some kind of what kind of technology we don't know. The cow is floating and it's being observed, and it's crazy. So my theory is like at least like one of these recent jellyfish UFO,
Right.
which was released recently, the video. I think such kind of an instrument. It seems like some kind of a mechanism, right? Like some kind of a mechanism which has a camouflage. Maybe it doesn't. It's not visible to us because even with the current technology, we know like where we can cloak up visibility. Like so, basically, it might be visible only through the thermal spectrum.
Right, right.
But these things might be used to kind of take those kind of cattle. But the kind of confusing part is even because there are like many hypotheses, right? Like who is doing this? Maybe okay, one thing is maybe this is done by some scientists or researchers, but
Right. That's where my mind went to. Maybe it's some kind of a viral or bacterial infection that affected the local ranch, and these cows got eaten from the inside because of a virus or bacteria or whatever it is. But I'm sure those theories have been checked out and not found to be
definitely,
true.
there are no known viruses, known diseases which these cows had.
Right.
And one thing was, in fact, and also the other thing you have to think is viruses doesn't make a cow fall from the sky. And
That's true.
And make them sit on a treetop.
Can't argue with that.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think that's gonna happen. So yeah, like if we go by the fact where like it's some investigator or someone the government is doing, it's like it will be the most craziest thing because this is like someone else's property.
Right.
Because it's like these people are going through some financial loss whenever it happens, right? So it's like without their permission doing anything, it's like crazy. It's like as if like I just break into your house, take the milk away. It's not just like milk away, right? Like where like maybe while you're sleeping, someone steals your kidney. You're gonna be just like sitting. Oh yeah, it's for research purpose. I'm okay.
Yeah,
No,
I'm not gonna be okay with that.
Yeah, I don't think anyone is gonna be that, right? So that's the part. Like if we go with the other hypothesis, like say like if it's UFO, even if we go with that crazy assumption that it's a UFO, why they want a cow,
Right.
a cattle, or like all these things, right? It's like out of everything. So it's crazy. That's where like the theory goes even deeper, like the rabbit hole. Like once you get into that rabbit hole, one other thing people say is maybe these beings are using these aliens are using these cows, their embryos or their whatever the sac which helps in organs. Maybe they are using it to grow something we don't know. Maybe it's being used to grow some other biologics which are
Right.
useful for them.
Right.
It might be part of that, or the other theory, or like maybe just thinking the other way is, what's another easy way to get into our general human population? If an alien wants to infect something, one easy way to maybe understand or think like what can be injected and go to this ranch and do something. And because we use cow in so many different ways, right from milk to meat and everything. So instead of going through every individual human to do something, this is one way. But I don't like that theory much because it doesn't.
It is one of those theories.
Yeah,
right?
but it is one of those things. That's a fact, which kind of makes it crazy.
Wow, that's really interesting. Any other incidents like this with cows, with any other animals, or do you have any more stories?
Yeah, that's a part. It's like it seems like it's not just cattle or like cows or like these kind of animals are affected. There have been reports where other wild animals also have been mutilated in similar ways, like sometimes like horses or some wild animals, like maybe even honey badger or things like that. Even a bear, I guess, like in one case, rabbits.
Okay.
It's kind of varies quite significantly. But for me, the most crazy part was there was a report about a few snakes also being mutilated.
The list goes on.
Yeah. So that's the part is like we thought, okay, we humans are going crazy with all these UFOs. Seems like we are not alone.
So it's not just humans.
Yep.
No, animals too.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting. What's your other topic that you want to talk about?
Yeah, so it's not like since we are talking about this part where how non-humans have been affected here, I think it's not just like the animal population. Sometimes it's even the crops.
We don't let anything slide.
Yes. So crop circles, right?
Yes, I've seen the movies.
Yeah.
I've heard of the crop circles. Yes.
So it's like I've always like found like it was amazing or astonishing to see those intricate patterns in those crop circles.
Yep.
But I always wondered like what's the phenomena which is causing this.
Right.
I know like a lot of crop circles were caused by actual human thing, but some of the crop circles are real, genuine, unknown origin. So, which makes it like quite interesting. I don't know if you know about this crop circles. Even though a lot of the images which we see online or anywhere, they show some intricate patterns just from the top in an aerial shoot, like from a top view, right?
Right.
But it doesn't stop there. So if you are really going and standing near a crop circle, so it's like you should think this in a three-dimensional way. So even there is a depth to these crop circles when those patterns are being made. So the crops, when they are folded, even at the depth level, right? Like so the height of the crops, the way they get folded also has a intricate patterns. So it's not just like what we see from the above. So in a way, like it's like one of the theory which people say is like, let's assume like this is also caused by UFO, because I don't think like a crop is gonna just fold like just like that.
Right.
Right, or it's not like a cosmic ray or some kind of corona mass ejection from the sun is going to do all this. It's definite, and it's not like a cyclone or
Right,
any
yeah.
tornado or all these things are gonna
Right, because
do such.
cyclones don't make perfect patterns.
Yes, it's and every time it's like quite different also.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the theory is uh, you have to understand these UFOs they travel through space time in crazy amount of speed.
Right.
And also if we assume okay they are coming through intergalactic distances, when you travel through space time, you're not just like traveling just a distance, you're
Mm-hmm.
also traveling through time.
Sure.
So there is imagine this like where like see this as a way to calibrate your this place where you are currently. So one of the theories, these are the geometric patterns which these UFOs make, so that okay they know where they are at this point of time, and
Huh.
where it's like it's a positioning method, and it's also like a way to know okay at what time they are in currently. So again, it's a wild theory. I don't know if I would completely believe that, but it's an interesting theory.
It is.
Yeah.
It is quite interesting, especially the the thing that you mentioned, where when you look from above, it just looks like a simple pattern, but when you get close to it and look at the cross section,
Yeah.
there is this more intricate patterns
Yeah.
to the depth of it. That is quite new to me. I
Yeah,
have
that's right. The
not.
way I would like to see is like where like going by this theory, it's like you should see it like a QR code, right? Like
Right.
how we have a QR code, like there is like information just in a pattern of maybe for us like it look like some random squares of black
Yeah.
and white region. You can create QR codes even with an image. You know that, right? Like, well, like
Right.
even so you can. It's just like finally, it's a difference in the intensity you can have, and whatever binary code or anything you can embed, and you can just retrieve it back. So in a way, how sometimes we use QR codes to calibrate or pass on information, maybe crop circles are the QR code of UFOs.
Wow. That's a cool claim, dude.
Yeah.
Well, that's another interesting thing to discuss about the impact of UFOs on non-humans.
Yes, definitely. Like I'm glad. Like I don't have any crops here, but yeah, I don't want to see my crops going and showing some patterns here. Like no QR codes
No
here.
QR codes needed here.
Yeah, yeah.
Any recent occurrences that we know of?
I I have to look into it. I don't think there were
Yeah.
like too many things. The problem is this is another problem, right? Like with this topic, there are a lot of people who just like for a prank they do this too.
Right.
And again, just like people enjoy a fun, right? Where like on also making adding part of the disinformation, right? Which
Yes.
adds. So that makes this topic quite difficult. And even like say even if you go back to cattle mutilation, like
Mm-hmm.
how many people are going to come out and say, oh yeah, this happened,
Right.
because say you are a rancher and like you are selling your livestock to people, you don't want like your ranch to be known as like something which is like yeah affected by a UFO or like some damage, and maybe the first thing people may think of is like what you said, right? Like what if like it's affected by some virus, right? So there was an incident, I think I don't know the timeline, but where the whole of I guess like Europe or some country had to
Mm-hmm.
kind of quarantine and destroy the whole cattle because of a particular disease, a mad cow disease or something.
Okay.
Which I forgot. And yeah, and oh yeah, this was another interesting thing which I saw. There was a particular strain of or disease which did get introduced to cattle during the timeline when UFO sightings were more and more of cattle mutilations were reported.
Huh.
So this was something I think I saw this very recently, but still I need to research about this more. But there were like at least like some 2-3 occurrences and different research papers which had the same kind of content talking about how UFO and a cattle mutilation incidents correlated with some of the disease which also happened like a spread during
Right.
those time. So maybe when these mutilation happens, like maybe some of the other cows are affected by some way. Yeah, it's crazy.
We wouldn't know for sure.
I don't drink any milk, so maybe time to go vegan.
That's true. That's true. Hey, it was nice talking about cattle mutations and crop circles this time. So, as usual, let's meet up for more stuff to discuss.
Yeah.
That's it from Not Just UFO.